So it's just, we feel their presence here. I mean,
That's what's neat, because I had never been in this building before we started working on it. And as soon as I walked in, even when it was still a shell and in really bad shape, it felt right. It just, like, I could feel their essence, their presence, the history, the memories. I could just feel it. And even though it doesn't look anything like what it did, because we did kind of want to make it our own.
Okay, well, I did want to ask you about that. I mean, I know I've told you this many times. We love what you've done here. It's so unique. It's so fresh. I've never seen any other like Cajun-oriented place look like this. It's perfect. But then obviously y'all been really intentional about the nostalgic elements you've kept. Like we've got some footage of the toy chest. Obviously, it's got to be.
Say Billy sign.
Yes, the sign is very important.
And we have it's behind you. I know you can't see it, but it's the fish, the nailed fish.
Oh, yes.
That was a big thing at the restaurant. And the sign,
The sign outside is fabulous.
Yes.
Yes. And then the other sign about success and failure.
It says success is never failure. I'm sorry.
Success is never
final and failure is never fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts.
And that's something that was, at the restaurant over on 80 and that we've always had.
Because we've been through some failures, y'all.
Well,
that's life. And that's where you learn your best lessons.
Y'all have persevered.
Well, we just try to learn every day, all the time, and sometimes you learn best from mistakes.
We're still here because we've been supported by the community, and I mean, we have, we put love out there and we get it back, and that's what's the most rewarding probably about.
And the community, and the Longview community, and also our surrounding communities have been so supportive of us, and it just makes your heart full. Got into this situation with the dine-in is when I started seeing people come in and they would eat, and if they weren't on their lunch break and in a hurry, then they would come in and then they would just sit and visit and talk. And I love that.
Yeah, they say, do you need us out here? And we're like, no, we love you to feel comfortable.
They're comfortable enough
hang out
that they want to just hang out here. And
that is literally the exact reason why we wanted to partner with y'all. In addition to all the nostalgia, it's like there's so many things we can do for ourselves to connect and feel good on a daily basis. And what you guys are facilitating, that's what people need.
Well, we had 4 ladies at this table today at lunch, and I bet they were here for 2 or 3 hours. And same thing yesterday with a group of people, and I mean, that just really, really warms my heart.
Well, y'all should feel really good about what you're doing.
And the only thing that truly warms our hearts is when a customer says, tastes just like I remember.
Yes.
Or, reminds me of being over there on 80.
Okay, well, I wanted to ask y'all, I know you ship on Gold Belly, but what's kind of your craziest, like someone who's gone to the most extreme lengths to revisit with y'all?
Well, when we announced our closing on Highway 80, we had a guy who came from Europe. He had family here, but he was like, I heard y'all are closing. I'm going to plan a trip to come to Longview. I just want to make sure I'm going to be able to get a table when I come. And we were like, sure, we're going to buy a plane ticket to come overseas.
And we wanted to be sure we'd still be open with that.
He came last week.
That's really interesting.
When we did,
that was really neat.
Yeah,
it really was, and we had him coming from all
and he came multiple
all
times
over, but in Europe,
Yeah, that's pretty.
But when we announced our closing, we announced it 2.5 months.
We didn't want to put any of our employees out on the street. We wanted to give them, and we gave our employees the opportunity to leave at that time and pursue another option or pursue other options or stay, and they all stayed. Everybody stayed. And the 40 employees.
And then the beauty of that also was in those 2.5 months, now all of a sudden we're having 2.5 hour waits all the time, every day.
It was a bonding experience.
That not only being such a beautiful tribute to us, it was also such a win-win for our employees.
Yeah, we were able to give bonuses to the kitchen. All the wait staff were doing well.
Cool.
Everybody was getting more hours. The wait staff was getting more tips. and we were being able to pay off some bills we needed to
Yes.
pay. And I mean, and that was just such a wonderful, wonderful tribute. But I just loved how, when those employees decided to stay, I was just so grateful
worked out for
that
them.
it really paid off for them too.
I just thought of something else. When we were working on our first cookbook, which we have our second one coming out soon, or this year at some point.
Okay.
Not soon, but before the end of the year.
Right.
I found a comic book on Amazon, and it was so random. I just Googled Johnny Cases, and was going through the results. I found a comic book on Amazon, and I ordered it, and it was called Tales from Behind the Pine Curtain, and it had a little strip in there, comic strip, about being a dishwasher on a busy Saturday night in the 70s at Johnny Case's, and it was like the guy was getting buried under. It was so crazy. I thought, and so I tried to find the guy who wrote it, and I found him, and he lives in Japan now. I found him on Facebook, and he lives in Japan.
Oh, that is cool.
And he's
That is
American,
so
living in
cool.
Japan, but he doesn't do comics and writing anymore. I don't remember what he does. Actually, I think he works at a restaurant. He runs a restaurant in Japan, like an American restaurant.
Cool.
And so he wanted us to send him a copy. So we sent a copy of the book after it was printed to Japan because we included
A picture of the comic.
Wow.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
That
so
was- that
neat.
is so
I love
fun.
that.
Okay.
This one's a little personal, but there was another book that I found when we were cleaning out over there. And as I mentioned earlier, my dad, who was a Paul Painter, had done corporate legal work for Johnny, and they worked together in church. But I found this book, and I opened it up, and it was when Johnny incorporated, and it had a list of incorporators, and it said Paul Painter. That was my
Wow.
dad, John S. Case Jr. and Valerie Case, and I was like, oh
That's
my
so
gosh,
cool.
it just gives me chills even to say it now.
Yeah.
I mean, is it
Just
not?
like the fate and
I
destiny
know,
and everything
Yeah.
that's been like
It's just
interwoven
so-
from
like,
the beginning.
wow, this is so cool.
Okay, so we're gonna ask about your favorite Endora game, and then if you'll give us a little brief tour of that wallpaper, because that's just like the coolest thing ever.
And people do love that wallpaper. Like, people come and ask us all the time.
I bet.
Where'd you get this? I don't know. So anyway,
Okay, cool.
I love to play solitaire, so I'm always playing Endora solitaire, and I just played it about an hour ago, and it's a really good picture of me and my dad popped up, and then sometimes it's like pictures of food that I really like, which is always fun to see when they pop up. But I played solitaire. I like